It says like call multiple events on single element. Suppose we have a button. In the button, we write here call click, comma, double click also, comma, right click also. Okay, so how many events? 3 events. On click we can call one function. On double click we can call another function, and on right click we can call another function. Okay, that is called mouse down. So now let's see here. 3 functions are written: function 1, function 2, function 3. Now we will go here and on click I will try to apply all 3 functions. On click equal to call the first function, call 1. It will work. We have seen many times. On click only, again call the second function. That will also work. On click only, again call the third function. 3. This will also work. Okay. So, but event is how many? Event is only 1. Okay. Here requirements is like click something else would happen, double click something else would happen, and right click something else would happen. Okay, but we added as of now on click only, and we'll check first one event is leading to all 3 functions or not. One event is calling to all 3 functions or not. If all 3 functions are calling on click, then we'll split and we'll apply the multiple event, and then we'll see for each event one function what will be the behavior. Okay, so hope you are writing right ones. Click here. First problem will come in front of us, then the solution will be interesting. If directly solution will come, then we will not give the value to the problem. Okay. So first what we are going to face? We are going to face the problem. Once the problem will come, we will understand, oh, this is the problem. Then if you see the solution, it will look like, oh, solution is valuable. Direct solution will come, we will not understand, okay, what is the level of problem. Now save the file and let's run once. Save the file and let's run once. Click once, on click. Three functions are calling. Single click. All 3 functions should work. Event listener 1 file, I will also run once and we'll see alert is coming on. So one click I did, from 1, from 2, from 3, all are coming. From 1, from 2, from 3, all are coming. Meaning one click we are able to call the single event, we are able to call the multiple function. On single click we are able to call the multiple function. But at the same time, requirement says on click should be first function, on double click should be second function, and on which one? Right click should be the third function. So let me go here and add one more button below. Add one more button below. It will be busy once we start the computer. So many videos are there in the system. Okay. Inside that, the first event is okay. Second event. Second event is on DBL. On DBL click equal to call the function 2. Double click equal to call the function 2. Again on mouse down equal to call the function 3. So total 3 events are added now. First event, one function. Second event, second function. Double click. Third event, on mouse down as a third function. Okay. So here I have written. Okay. So no problem. Let it be one single click. All are calling. We can write here single click call 3 method. Then that button will be much meaningful. It will say if it's do the single click, it will call the 3 method. Second button, whichever the text are added, according to text it should work. According to text it should work. Click will call the function 1. Double click will call the function 2. And right click will call the function 3. Check once this line. Second button is functional or non-functional. Second button, anything? Let me go refresh it. First button is okay, it's calling, no doubt at all. Second button is calling directly from 3. Right click is also from 3. Double click and all is not listening at all. See here, becomes a mismatch. We are doing the single click. We are expecting the from 1 should come, but it is coming from the from 3. So which event is listening? The first, second or third. 3 events called here. 3 event is called here. Now when we mouse down meaning is what? Whether you do left click or right click. Okay. If you do the left click, then also mouse down will happen. If you do the right click, then also mouse down will happen. So it says like here in the first one, when we click 3 events separated by comma calling well, no doubt at all. When we come to the second button, our requirement says like when the user will click first click, it should call the first function. When you do the double click, it should call the second function. When you do the which one? Right click, then it should call the third function. Okay. Now in the case of, look at here now, which is calling it, when I click as a left click, it is calling from 3. From 3. When I do right click, then also it is calling from 3. So how many events are in the list? Total 3 events are in the list. But when we did a click, what happened? First event got ignored. Second event is also ignored. Which event is taking the action? Third event. Okay. So to avoid this problem, to fix this problem, JavaScript has given a function called add event listener. Okay. Add event listener. What that function will do, you will not write the event, multiple event in HTML. One event you can write in HTML, the remaining event you can write in JavaScript also. Or instead of writing the event in HTML, all event you can write in JavaScript also. And each event will be separate. Click will call the function 1, double click will call the function 2. Okay, but here again, one problem is there what? Like when we are mouse down will, what mouse down will do? Mouse down will do the left click also, right click also. On click is nothing but the left click. So here conflict will happen. I will change here little. Okay, we have multiple events. I will apply like which one? Mouse out. We can apply the mouse out. Once the mouse will touch and move out from there, then it will happen. Let me write here. On mouse out. On mouse out. So when the mouse will touch, no problem at all. When the mouse will move out from the button, then alert should fire. Now in this case again we are going to check whether first will fire, second will fire or third will fire. Which one will fire? Click will listen or not, because earlier it was a on mouse down. Mouse down consider left click also and right click also. Now what we added? On mouse out. So once you go inside and click, then the first event is listening or not. When we are moving out from the button, then third event is listening or not. Let us go and see here. When I came inside, see when I went inside and click here, which one taken? First one taken. Okay. First also happened. Okay. Mouse will went out, then third happened. Now double click. Which one is calling? First one is calling. Okay. Here again mismatch happened. What is that? Because mouse enter will happen. Let me cut the third event. Third event I will cut. Now two event is there. It is the separate completely. Click and double click. Mouse enter was also making conflict. So on click should happen and on double click should happen. On right click, let's see now. When I do a click, first one is happening. When we do a double click, which one is happening? Okay, first click, first happen, no problem. Double click, second only happen. Abhi try karo aap. Maybe my system is doing wrong output. Try in your system also. On click what is happening and on double click is what is happening. Maybe on double click work in your system. Check once. And what is happening in both the case? On click which is called and on double click which is called. Third event we have cut now. We have added only two events. event 1 and event 2. Which one is calling? First or second?
So only first is calling.
Only first is calling. Meaning, if you want to call the second, then we cannot call from here. If you want to call from here, the second one, that is not getting call. So that is a problem. That is a problem. So now to fix that problem, we will use another feature of JavaScript that is called event listener. Event listener will be completely listening to all the events that is being fired for a particular element. Suppose for button, we have given 3 events. So all 3 events should work because user wanted to do 3 kind of functionality based on one element click. Okay. Now copy this complete code and paste in the next file. Give the file name event listener2.html. Event listener2.html. Event listener2.html. Okay, in that same code you can copy and paste here, and from the button whichever the events you have written, remove that. First button also remove from here, keep as a second button only. Okay, hope ready. Now after that for this button give a id equal to my button. Id equal to my button. Right below one div tag. Under the div tag id equal to container. Id equal to container. No data. You can follow one br here. Okay, so button we added, and for that button id is my button, and after that after that what we wanted to do is we have 3 events: on click, on double click, and on mouse enter. Mouse enter. So you can modify here, double click, mouse enter, like once the mouse will touch, but this will be the problem. When it will be the problem, because when you want to click that time also your mouse will touch. So better you can write here mouse out. Instead of mouse enter, mouse out. When we want to click on button, single click, your mouse has to touch the button. That time mouse enter event will fire, will get confused. So for double click also mouse will come inside, then only click will happen. Will get confused. So better than that, you can write mouse out. When the mouse will come inside, no problem. When the mouse will go out, then the problem will happen. But we have to remember after click, our mouse should be there only. Cursor should not move out. Anyway, that we'll understand. We have two events here, click and double click. Using that we can identify. Now go to the each event. You have three functions you have. Let's go there and create a variable, data variable. Write as a h1. H1 says the mouse went out. Close the h1. Write a p tag, or again we can add one more line here. Data plus equal to a paragraph. We can write inside something. This is mouse out event. Close the paragraph. After that, you call a function called print data. Print data. Under the print data, you can pass this data variable. Same way you can do under the function 2 also. Function 2 is for the double click. The mouse was double click. Was double clicked. This is mouse. This is DBL click event. DBL click event. And again call the function called print data inside the form 1. This is click event. This is or we can write here the mouse was single clicked. This is mouse click event. Mouse single click. Single click event. Mouse single click event. Okay. In all three cases, which function we call? We call a function called print data. Okay. Else everywhere you have to write document.getElementById, document.getElementById. You generated the output three places in three functions, and the target is all the functions will execute on different event. All the function will execute on different event, but output will come at same place. Where the output will come? Output will come under the container. Now we will write a function below, print data, function, print data. Under the print data, you will receive as a input, and this input you will write document dot get element by id, where you want to send, container, how you want to send, as a inner HTML, because from all the places input is going to come as a HTML data. We can write here called input. So this is the three function is ready. one function is print data to display the output, function 1 for different event, function 2 for different event, function 3 for different event. Okay, next we can write the event listener and we can check the page whether all three events are working on it. Write it. Hope you have written. Okay, so hope three functions are written plus print data also you have written. Next, after that, come in the beginning and you have the function button ID is called my button. Button ID is called my button. So I'll create a variable called where my element element my my element equal to my element. Okay, so you can do one thing, test whether your page is working or not. On click call the function one. On click call the function one. Check on button click anything is printing in the browser. Test using the function one. On click anything printing or not. Button click on click anything printing or not. On click we call the
Yes, sir.
function one.
Yes, sir. It is printing.
Function should print something. If error will not be there, then it will be helpful. I clicked here, it is saying the mouse was single clicked. This is mouse event, okay? So event is happening and it's getting printed. First button is working. Okay, if the first button works, then let me remove from here. From here and go in the beginning. Now right here, a variable my element. My element equal to document dot document dot get element by id. Which id? ID we have called my button. Just we are finding the my button element we found. Now on my button element, using the event listener function, you are going to apply the function and event and function. So this line is going to point to which? Home button. This line is going to point to the button. Now inside the button, you will write here my element dot add event listener. In event listener, the first will be your event name. The first will be event name, that is called click. On will not come here. Click, and after that, on click, which function you want to call? We want to call the function 1. So function 1 will be just like this only. You can check once. So what will happen now? For function 1, usually in HTML we write on click, but here on click you are not going to write. Okay, just only you will write as a click. Again you will add here my element is pointing to whom? Button. Button dot add listener dbl click. Call the function 2. Now instead of directly, it's happening indirectly. Indirectly, button is same, but on button the event is being added by JavaScript using the function called event listener function. Okay, add event listener. My element dot add event listener particular. My element dot add event listener particular. Check now, and dbl click and click. On the click of same button, do single click, and same button do double click. Output is getting changed in the browser or not? Same button do the single click and same button do the double click. The content is changing in the browser or not? No, it should work here. Let me go here. Single click, something wrong. Double click, also something wrong. What is wrong? Console cannot read the property of null add event listener at. Okay, when this error came, on click or without click? Without click this event happened. Okay, no problem. Okay, reason is what? Reason is what? A small reason is there in that. Okay, when this page will execute, when this line is going to execute, before HTML or after HTML? See here, in this case, our HTML is under the body and a script is under the script. So, okay, the function will execute on click. That is understand. This all the function will click on click is okay. It will not execute in the beginning. Okay, the function will execute after click. But when this 2 line, 3 line will execute, before HTML or after HTML? Before HTML. Now, when this line will execute, this line will search in your current page. Element is exist or not? Which exists element? My button. But this line executed before HTML. Your still HTML is not ready. Inside the body there is nothing. Button is not created. Paragraph is not created. Container is not created. Right? So before HTML, you are trying to call the JavaScript. That also when single click is working for you.
So for me also single click is working.
Let's hold on. Now, what I have tried to explain you, not understood, right? I'm trying to explain like when I execute the page, now what will happen in this? Which portion will execute first? Now first HTML will execute. When the HTML will execute, then button will be ready. After that JavaScript will come. When the JavaScript will execute, my button element they will find. That time there is a less possibility, not less, but there is a no possibility of error. Let me run my page. Click I have here, CLICK, and I am calling the function one. Function one I am calling the function two. Function two also I have. Let me run my page. Clear this. Reload it. Now click here. Happening. Double click. Happening. See, it's working in my system also. First, it was not working because when the HTML has executed, when the JavaScript code executed, that time this button was not exist. Which button? My button was not exist. And forcefully you are asking the JavaScript to search the element called my button. My button is not exist. Then if the button is not exist, definitely it will return as a null. My element will become as a null, and for null we are applying the add listener. It will say definitely add listener event will not get applied. Check karo aap.
So Sharam, this will happen always in the case of a big code or no, because the script will.
Yes. I have told in the beginning also, JavaScript is not necessary to write only in the head section. JavaScript, most of the script part will go in the body, end of the HTML code. It will get called at the end of the body. Open any website, go to the right click view source. You will find minor JavaScript file will call on the top. Major JavaScript will call at the end of the page. Because some code will be required, HTML code, HTML. Before coming the JavaScript, the HTML code must be there, HTML element must be there. For example, your script will execute. Suppose this script if I'll add in the head section, when head section will execute at the landing of the page, the beginning of the page, what will happen? This line will search for this element or not, my element, my button. That time your HTML is not render still. HTML element is not exist. It will throw the error. It will give as a null. It will give as a null. So your get element by ID function will search in your current document, my button is exist or not. So this code, if I add place here under the head section, so head will execute first, body will execute next. In head also, this event you have added without any kind of control. It is direct execution. So at first time when the HTML head section will execute, it will search for the element called my button. It will not be find, it will say a null. Now your element is what? Null. Now for null element, you will apply the particular functionality, 100% sure it will say the error, it will not work at all. Same code even in my system, it was giving the error. I cut from beginning, pasted in the last, started working. Okay, check that. Both event is different, no? On click we have function one, on double click we have the function two. This is the meaning of event listener. Event listener is this much only. Okay, for a particular element, you call the multiple events according to username. Okay, in your computer, suppose you want to open the Notepad++. Icon is on desktop. What you do? Double click also you do, and sometimes right click and open also you do. So how many type of event? Two event. Okay, so suppose if user do the double click, is not open. If the user do the right click and open, then it will become a what? Only one event. But that work on the both the event. Similar way here in HTML also. See, this event listener is not for the user purpose. Event listener the people has made, it is not for the user purpose. User will, when the user will come to your web page, when you go to the Flipkart, add to cart button, have you ever do double click? No, we always do how much? Single click, right? Now when you open, go to the Facebook login button, you ever do the double click? Ever do the right click? Never. We do always single click. But for when you go to the big application, Flipkart, LinkedIn, Snapdeal, big project what we have, okay. So there, the people who has made those big projects and earning a lot of money from the monthly, yearly and all, they have a lot of customer unlimited dependencies are there. Okay. When the investor is invest the money for the positive work, they invest the money for the negative work also. Okay. Go to the Amazon, go to the Flipkart, they will have a team called abuse management team. Okay. What is that team? That team will be only responsible to identify who and all are the negative user has visited on the website today. Positive user will come to the Amazon, they will see the product and they will do the click add to cart. Negative user will come to the Amazon, they will do the right click and view source. They will do the right click and go to where? Console. Add to cart and they'll see what are the functions are calling. That is called what? Negative users. Okay. So this add event listener people has made not for the positive user. They have made for the negative user. Now suppose you went to the Flipkart, you click on the add to cart. You are positive user, your functionality will happen, no problem. But at the same place, one more event is added called right click. For whom? Abuse management team. They will understand. If you do the right click, you will think like, yes, I'm a smart, just I did the right click and copy the CSS code. But at the same time, as soon as you do the right click, one event will fire. Event will fire and one request will send to the backend saying like this lat, this long, this IP, this OS, this browser, one user has done the right click. At what time? Particular time. Now abuse management team will understand, yes, there is one log from particular computer, from particular internet, particular OS, particular browser, particular lat and long, and particular IP address. One right click was done. Now what they'll do is they'll track it. Today happened, tomorrow also happened, day after two. Continuously, if you are doing a similar activity, the abuse management team will report to whom? Technical team. Saying like from particular IP address, always one negative request comes and they do the right click and do the okay. Now the technical team block your IP. Tomorrow you open the website, nothing will happen for you. That is called what? Abuse management. Okay. Protecting the application from the negative users. Identifying the mentality of the user. That is called analytics part. Okay. Analytics is going on, analysis is happening. What are the positive work happening? What are the negative? You know? So in that case, what is going to help you? Event listener is going to help. Okay. So event listener again, what is that? Simple functionality for one particular element. We want to call the multiple events. Now maybe on each event you are going to do the different work as you saw here. You are displaying the content only, but maybe when you do the double click, we can send a request from here using the fetch method to the backend. From here, we can send a request also not to the backend using fetch method, saying like find out the lat, long, IP, everything, browser details, send to the backend. Backend will store in database, and tomorrow they'll come to know, oh, you are trying to do the right click, you are trying to do something on the application negative. Okay, so you have one more here. What is that? Three function we have. This is your mouse went out. So you can write here one more event. Go here. What is that? Mouse out. Only mouse out. M-O-U-S-E, mouse O-U-T, mouse out. Call the function 3. Function 3. mouse out function 3. Now 3 event is added, one event for different purpose, another event for different purpose, another event for different purpose. Let's come to the browser and see whether that is getting applied or not. Click is happening well. Double click is also happening. When I move the mouse, it also happen. Okay. This is called your event listener. Wherever we require, we can call it. The problem was multiple event, one event, multiple function we can call, but in HTML directly. But multiple event, multiple function was impossible to call. So the method came as the event listener. Please check, hope it works. Okay, next after that, our next step is React. Okay, so whoever wanted, who wanted Angular, yeah, some person wanted Angular. Anyone is looking for Angular?
Sir, I'm looking for Angular.
Okay, so Angular, if you are looking, then tomorrow you will not join the class. For Angular, they will call you today and they will update you. Maybe 2-3 days you have to wait. And because 8 o'clock will be the React for these people. For Angular, we will be updating you today. Okay.
You will only be teaching Angular, right, sir?
Me or maybe one more person we have, Sanjay. He take the only Angular. If his batch is going to start within few days, then he will take. In case he having no any batch, then we'll accommodate some time. We will check how we can manage. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Then Sanjay is our trainer. He work for the which company? Some Capgemini or some company work. He have many year experience. He take the classes here. It is only Angular that MongoDB. He is the min stack developer. So maybe his batch is free, then he will take the class. In case his batch is not free, then I will be accommodating the time. Okay, now hope you have no any other question. Any question from JavaScript next? आप बोला था ना डबल दिस अप्लाई करने के लिए, डबल दिस नहीं होता है, ठीक है। हमने बैठ कर रिसर्च किया, कहीं नहीं मिला हमको, ना हमने खुद से इम्प्लीमेंट किया, नहीं हुआ, डबल दिस नहीं होता। होता है कि नहीं होता है, लेकिन हमने जहाँ तक जितना सारा एग्जाम्पल हमने इंटरनेट पे देखा, कहीं डबल दिस नहीं लगा है, किसी में नहीं लगा है। एक वेबसाइट
Sir,
आप उसमें भी जाकर देख सकते हैं। हेलो
sir, if we'll go through the JavaScript and we'll found any doubt, so in which class we'll ask the doubt?
doubt if
Hello?
you have, then tomorrow you can ask the maximum. From tomorrow after we will enter under the React. Tomorrow morning we will log in, same time 8:30 nearly or 8 o'clock, and then we can set up the React project. React project setup will take 15 minutes nearly. Within that time, if you have any problem, you can ask me, I'll guide you.
Okay, sir.
React
Sir,
is overload, it's a difficult again. So that is also JavaScript code only. That is not something new, it's a JavaScript code itself.
so we'll be having class on Saturday, Sunday also?
Now this Saturday we have class. Yesterday I was absent.
Okay. Sunday we don't have.
Sunday will be, once we finish half React, then Sunday will be, Saturday, Sunday will be project class.
Okay.
Finishing the half React, Saturday, Sunday we'll log in for the project class, morning only 8 o'clock. And then till next 2 weekend you have Monday to Friday only. Next
Okay.
2 weekend we have Monday to Friday. After 2 weeks we will have Saturday Sunday also, that project work.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
I have other classes also. JavaScript 11:30 I have a batch. JavaScript is in middle. So revision there is no problem. Anyone can log in device. Meeting ID remains same. Okay.
11:30.
11:30 to 1 o'clock.
Okay, sir. Okay.
There similar some event is going on. So revision, if you want same Zoom link, you can log in 11:30, no problem. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, then tomorrow we are going to log in 8 o'clock. Okay, 8 to 9:30 nearly. We will set up the that React project, and after that we will start other all the installation work we'll do, and we will understand the flow, how data flow will happen inside, internal structure of React, how it is, and how to create the file and how to run. Basic understanding will be tomorrow. Setup and basic understanding, how to start the server and all. And next class onwards, we will understand from their base we will start basic of React, JSX, the rules of JSX, and then further next. Okay. Okay. So tomorrow 8 o'clock, hope you are going to log on. These two files are in your chat. You can use it. Sudipta, React I was talking about. React. So you want Angular or React? If you want Angular, then you will not log in tomorrow. If you want React, then you can log in tomorrow 8 o'clock. Tomorrow onwards we'll have React class.